well, welcome to the K0MAD Thursday night 2-meter live stream Simplex net. We'll get this thing kicked off here in just a minute, and hopefully everything functions like normal this time around. It was a disaster last week. Hopefully all does well. Anyway, we'll get this net started.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night Oars 2-meter Simplex net. My name is Sean, and my call sign is K0MAD. This net meets regularly on Thursdays on this frequency on 46.460 at 8 o'clock. No PL tone, no offset. This is not an emergency net, but if anyone has any emergency traffic at any time, please call break. Does anyone have any emergency traffic at this time? Please call now. All right, nothing heard. We do use NetLogger for check-ins on the net, so if you wish to check in early through NetLogger, you may do so. The goal of Simplex net is to reach out as far as possible, direct, and antenna to antenna without the use of a repeater. Do we have any announcements at this time? I do realize I'm on the, I don't have an omnidirectional. I'm pointed to the southeast, starting the net out. But at any time, if anybody has any announcements while I'm swinging the beam, feel free to say break and give me whatever announcements you've got. So, anyway, I am live streaming the net on my YouTube channel, Ham Radio with K0MAD. So if you want to say a sound or miss part of the net, you can visit the channel there and view it here a few minutes after the net. Anyway, how about any short-term mobile check-ins or announcements? Please call now.
Net control. Please check in Whiskey Bravo 5, Romeo November Delta, WB5RND, Mail in Harrison, Arkansas.
Mail WB5RND, you are coming in just spectacular. 5 and 7, it looked like they're on the meter. How you doing this evening?
Doing very well. Me and Sean was on 5-2 talking down there, and I remember you guys had a net up here, so I thought I'd run up here and say howdy.
Well, hey, I'm glad you did. Appreciate you taking the time to check in tonight. And like I said, I am live streaming this, so if you want to say sound on my radio, pretty impressive. Good signal coming from down there tonight.
You're sounding loud and clear down here. It's not registered on the meter, but you're sounding loud and clear.
Yeah, you're dropping off now. All right, Mel, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate it. 7-3. Let's see, do we have any other short time check-ins? All right, nothing heard. I'm going to go to the flat side. Okay, I'm on the flat side. This is K0MAD with the Oars Thursday night Simplex net, and we're pointed to the southeast. We're looking for check-ins for the net. Please call now.
Paul, KD0, EOA in Cape Fear.
Paul, KD0, EOA over in Cape Fear. You're booming in tonight. How you doing this evening?
Well, pretty good. I have been taking it easy this week. My flooring project is finished, or at least the part I'm doing anyway. I got flooring people to come in and finish it up. Let's see, here in the Radio Shack, I had one of these little kits I had bought. Might have been at the Oars Ham Fest. I can't remember. Go to so many Ham Fests, but it was one of them little crystal tester frequency counter kits, and so I built that, got it going, it worked. So I made a little box and like a little case thing for it, and had a good time doing that. So I've kicked off my radio season, so to speak.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, I've built one of those. Those are pretty fun to build, and it's a simple project, but it's a neat one for someone that wants to get into some kind of a project anyway.
Yeah, and I found it. You can test test crystals with a signal generator and an oscilloscope, which I have. If they're unmarked, though, you could spend a long time spanning the frequencies, and you might end up on a harmonic, too. But this seems to go right to whatever frequency it's set on. So that's a pretty handy little deal.
Well, that's good. Well, Paul, I appreciate you taking the time to check in tonight. It's always good to hear from you. I always got a booming signal up here in Aurora, or from down there around Cape Fear. Well, we'll say 7-3 to you, Tom, and we're going to flip back to the vertical side and start swinging this beam around, see who we can find to check in. So 7-3.
73. Hope to hear from you next week. KD0 EOA.
All right, I just seen a signal popping up there. We're still pointed to the southeast station. If you can hear me, I seen your carrier show up. I'm pointed to the southeast. If you're not to the southeast, just give me a couple minutes, and we'll be rotating this thing around to the east in just a minute. Anyway, this is K0MAD, still pointed southeast, looking for check-ins for the Oars Thursday night Simplex net. Please call now.
James, you hear him? K0MAD in Aurora, they're running net on 4-6.
Well, I can see his signal. I just can't hear him.
Is he? Who's that you're talking to there, Mel?
That's James there, WX5 Tango, and he is not too far from me there. I figure you could hear him maybe.
Well, let me look up and see where he's at on my beam heading real quick. Maybe I can zero in a little better.
Okay. He says he hears you.
All right, well, 145 degrees, and that's right where I'm at. WX5T, got any copy on Kilo Echo 0, Mike Alpha Delta in Aurora? Yeah, we got a little bit of you there that time. Well, we'll get you checked in. James, appreciate you checking in tonight. Not a very strong signal, but the band, I'm sure, could treat us one way or the other, good or bad. And you definitely made it in on my net. And I appreciate you taking the time to do so. Glad we're making it in down your direction. WX5T from Kilo Echo 0, Mike Alpha Delta, net 7-3.
That is a rough copy.
Yeah, I lost most of that there, James. But hey, appreciate you checking in. Try again next week. Maybe the band will be a little better for us. You just never know how 2 meters is going to be from 1 week to the next, or even 1 minute to the next, for that matter. Anyway, we're still pointed southeast. To have anybody else that'd like to check in to the Oars Thursday night Simplex net, this is K0MAD. Okay, well, we're pointed east. This is K0MAD, looking for check-ins for the net. Please call now.
KF0 UDK, Dawn and Republic.
KF0 UDK, Don. Let me move a little bit more your direction, but you're coming in good either way. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good tonight. Sitting out on my deck. It's pretty nice so far.
Well, now you're booming in there. I got the beam on you a little closer, and yeah, plenty clear signal. You running that little beam you made there?
No, tonight I'm running the quarter wave ground plane.
Well, it's doing a good job. That thing works great. It's surprising how good that works with just 5 watts going into it.
Yeah, the Yagi, I'd like to somehow fix it where I can mount it on a pole or something, kind of get it that more up in the air.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I understand that. That is best for a beam, especially since you have a very narrow beam width on those. You know, you don't have not a lot towards the ground and into the air. They're pretty straight on the horizon.
Yeah, I just haven't figured out how to mount it on some kind of a pole yet.
Yeah, you'll get that figured out. Anyway, that's what it's all about, figuring stuff out like that. Appreciate you checking in, Don. Sounding great over here in Aurora. And we'll say 7-3 to you, and we're pointed to the east-northeast, looking for check-ins for the Oars Thursday night Simplex net. Please call now.
Well, you got Kilo Charlie 0 November Sierra Charlie.
Zulu Kilo Mike.
All right, Tom, we got you. Then we'll get ZKM after that. Tom, KC0NSC, just booming in as usual. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right. Had a really good day. Weather's still holding in there. I hear it's going to go to crap here pretty quickly, but hey.
That's right.
It's great today.
Yeah, it is nice today. It's supposed to be, I think, nice tomorrow. I may try to do a Parks on the Air or something tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I just don't know how the day will treat me after work.
Yeah, you got that right. You never know. Anyway, I heard you in there when you were trying to talk down into Arkansas, I guess, and probably off the side of your beam. But it's working.
Yeah, it was, you would have been off the side of the beam. Yeah, we talked to WX5T in Harrison. He was a pretty weak copy. WB5RND, which is Mel down in Harrison, Arkansas. And, boy, Mel is just booming in up here.
Yeah, I couldn't hear him. I don't have a beam up yet, so that probably affects the receive side a great deal.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure you got just a little bit of noise being in Springfield. Maybe not much, but just a little bit can knock a light signal out.
Oh yeah, a couple of times I heard something down in there kind of scratchy. I knew someone was talking, but I couldn't pull any intelligence out of it whatsoever.
Yep. Well, that was probably, more than likely, that was probably Mel there. Well, Tom, thanks for checking in tonight. Great signal, like I say, as usual. And we'll say 7-3 to you, and we're going to move down to Marvin, KE0ZKM, over there around Battlefield.
All right, you got it. Thanks for running the net. KC0NSC 7-3.
Mobile here hooked up in the shack, so want to make sure it was getting out okay. KE0ZKM.
Did you say you got your mobile hooked up in the shack? Is that what you said, Marvin?
Yeah, I've got my Yaesu 2500M hooked up here in the shack, seeing how it's working.
It's working perfect. Not a very big signal, three S units, but you're completely clear.
Roger, roger. Well, I appreciate it, sir, and I'll send it back to net. Thanks for running this.
All right, well, we appreciate you checking in tonight, and we're still pointed to the northeast. This is KE0MAD. Do we have any further check-ins?
KE0RM.
KE0LTG.
See, I'm pointed northeast, so I can't hardly hear those two that checked in. You know, they're on the side of my beam. Just kidding. Bob, KA0RM, 1x1 signal. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. The other one just checked. Did you say he was up for Springfield? I had a half a meter on him there, and you said you only had 3 S units? My goodness. He's booming in here, like I said, a half a meter. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing all right. I guess you read the letter, so I just about forgot it. I was in there watching 911 Nashville, and I heard you come on there, so I did check in here. KA0M. Catch you later.
All right. Yeah, I was a little north of Marvin there. I'd already moved up a little further towards Springfield. So yeah, he was a little bit down on the bottom of the beam. But anyway, thanks for checking in, Bob. And Lawrence, KE0LTG, go ahead.
Oh, hi, Sean. I got to looking at a 1926 RRL book here a little bit, and it had just a little bit on it on the old spark gap transmitters they used to have. And they had that trembler coil or buzz coil, like on the Model Ts and those cars, and they do about 200 hertz per minute, so it gives off a buzzing sound. And then they was using the spark gap, which was about 0.4, about 400ths of an inch, a little less. And they said they was getting like a 20-mile range back in those days, and they was using about 10,000 volt spark to jump it. So of course, you can't use stuff like that now. It's all illegal to use spark gap stuff. Did say to use heavy wires. Don't try to run something like that under 14-gauge wire on this stuff with those voltages. But anyway, it's sort of interesting back when it first started how far they was getting. I guess about 1912 they stopped using it and went to a frequency. But
probably because everybody's
anyway,
dying.
It's sort of interesting to see the simple ways they did it back with car parts back in those days.
Yeah, they probably stopped using it because all the people that knew how to use it were dying off because they were getting shocked.
Well, maybe that was the case. They fried a few people. Now, some of them went up to 100,000 volts out on those ships and things when they jumped the spark. So, of course, I guess out in the ocean you could get a little more range that way, but it covered so many frequencies you can't use it. But anyway, it's pretty simple gear, I guess, when they started experimenting back in the early days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty neat, though. Yeah, I came across the spark gap transmitter at one of the ham fests, and I bought it, and I've got it sitting over on the shelf. And I've just thought about just seeing what it takes to make them things work, but it kind of scares me a little bit. But it's cool to look at anyway. One night I may have to show it on the live stream, show it off a little bit. It's not very big, and it does use an old Ford wooden box coil. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's in museums. There's a few museums that feature showing them off. But, yeah, it'd be neat to bring some time, let the radio club see. I'd like to see something like that a little bit. It seems to be, and even the receiver is pretty simple, too. Just an antenna, a coil, capacitor, and a diode, much like a crystal set to receive it. So, yeah, I'd like to see it sometime. KE0LTG, clear.
Yeah, this one's got a coil and a crystal, and it's got a little slider where you can tap the coil in different areas to change, frequency a little bit. Yeah, pretty neat. All right, Lawrence, thanks for checking in. And let's see, we are still pointed northeast, looking for check-ins for the Oars Thursday night Simplex net. Please call now. Well, we'll swing this thing up towards Marvin's direction, up there to the north. Let's see here, up towards Stockton. This is K0MAD. We're pointing north and west just by a little bit, looking for check-ins for the net. Please call now. All right, nothing there. We're going to move to the northwest, over towards Joplin and Carthage. Looking for any further check-ins for the net. Please call now. All right, one more call to the northwest for any calls for the net. Okay, we're on the final resting place for this beam, which is to the southwest. over towards Tulsa in that direction. Anybody like to check into the southwest? This is K0MAD. Please call now. Let's see, we had a K7ZYP pop in there, and they popped out of there. I figured that would probably be someone just perusing around on the net logger. All right, we deleted them out. Well, we'll go ahead and take one last little call for any last-minute comments or anything they have, any further comments for the net. Please call now. All right, well, we had 9 check-ins, including myself. Appreciate all that checked in. That was pretty good for the second night of doing the Simplex net after me coming back from my hiatus. So we'll shut this thing down, and appreciate all that checked in tonight, and we'll let the frequency go back to normal use. 7-3, everybody.
Well, let's hope that all went off good. We'll see how that turns out. Anyway, we're going to let this thing go out and catch everybody later.
Give me a phone call here in a little bit.